Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I am going to share a video where I am creating just some basic envelopes out of some parchment paper and some baking paper that I have. For those of you who are new, this is something that I had created and released along with my Wings collection, which is a monthly collection that I come out with here on my channel and in my Etsy shop, where I produce a blank traveler's notebook and a kit that goes along with it. And then we usually create together. There's a design team that's awesome. So yes, for those of you tuning in, that is what this is related to. I had created some envelopes, so I wanted to show those of you who are interested how I did it. It's really simple, but they are a lot of fun, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun to use. I don't have any. I sold them all. They went so quickly, you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Those envelopes were gone within a few minutes, and I know some of you were trying to get them at the same time, and then I wasn't able to make any more because all in all, they were a little more time consuming to finish up than I had originally anticipated, but they are a lot of fun if you're just making, you know, a few for yourself. It's not like they're that hard. So this is some deli paper that I had that I just have. I use it in my collections quite a bit. Because I knew I was going to be making this video, I did wrap the journal in a piece of this deli paper. So hopefully if you bought that, you hung on to your deli paper. I wanted everybody to have a piece of it just because of these envelopes and the fact that I was going to go grungy, and if you wanted to follow along. This is just a roll of parchment paper. My mom gave this to me and I have been enjoying it in so many ways. Thank you, Mom. But you can get, you know, any type of baking parchment paper you might already have. I know they have some at the Dollar Tree. And as far as these deli sheets go, you don't even have to have this brown color. You could just use the white or any other type of deli paper that you might have on hand. I just really like this brown color and I have a giant box of it. So yeah, that's what I'll be using. So this piece already measures. This is where things can get a little tricky. I think it's actually 12 inches. It is 12 inches by 12 inches. So that's pretty cool. It's like the size of a scrapbook paper, right? And what I want to do to give it a crinkly effect to the envelope itself, I'm going to layer some of this baking paper in between two sheets of this deli paper. So I have this giant roll to work with. All right, so I just found this scrap of paper that I had adhered together from when I was creating the journals, and I only used 2 pieces of the white in between the deli paper. So another option you could do if you didn't, you could try this with tissue paper. You could take some parchment paper and layer some tissue paper on the inside of there. I am going to take, I have this giant roll, so it's a little awkward. And I can't get it all in camera, but I'm going to cut a couple pieces of this paper off of my roll. And then as far as the extra pieces go, I've been hanging on to them for future projects because I do love this crinkly deli paper. All right, so for now, I just have this laying underneath this 12 by 12 piece of deli paper. I can't get a grip on anything. It's this fingernail polish. Okay. I have that laying underneath, and because my sheets are so big, I'm just, to get an idea, I can see through here, and I just want to cut these pieces so they're all relatively the same length at this point. It doesn't have to be perfect. And actually, I hope I'm not already messing up, because I can't remember exactly how I had done it last time, and I'm not sure if I was supposed to crinkle the paper before I cut it, which might be the case, which means scratch video, start over. All right, so now I have these 2 pieces of white, my piece of brown, and another piece of brown to sandwich it. So I'm going to crinkle all of these up. and then I'm going to open them back up. Originally, when I started making these, I tried it without crinkling these center pieces, and it wasn't good enough. It didn't have that crinkly effect in the end. Right, so now I have 4 crinkled sheets. I want to create a sandwich of these papers, and what I found that I like using the most is a glue stick. Now, let me talk to you about glue sticks for a minute. I have glue sticks. I have a whole bag of them because they're popular. Maybe they do work better under certain circumstances, but what I found making, I don't know how many of these did I make, close to 30 of these envelopes, and I went through the glue sticks to do it. Like, it takes, you know, a lot of smearing of glue to sandwich these together. I used them both, and there was no difference. There was no difference. In fact, I think that I like this one better because it actually has that tinted color that I can see what I'm doing, you know? Anyway, I definitely tested the glue sticks on this project, and at least for what I'm doing here, there's no reason why I'm going to buy those glue sticks again. I'll use what I have, but in the end, nope, I'm stocking up on cheap school Elmer's glue sticks. Anyway, so I'm just going to start gluing these layers together because I found that it does help when I'm making my envelopes to have it glued together. So I'm literally just smearing some glue down, and we'll go from there. And like I said, this is a great glue stick for that, you know, seeing the purple. Now, I will say, when I created these in mass, like I did, I made giant sheets, and I just was gluing giant sheets together and making layers and cutting from there, but that isn't necessary for this project that we're doing here. And of course, you can make this work for you and whatever it is that you have, supplies that you already have on hand. I just love the crinkle in between the deli paper. And hopefully, I didn't think about it, hopefully it's not too much on the camera. I know sometimes the camera can pick it up in weird ways. Now, after we cut this down, we may need to add a little more glue, but that's fine. This is just to get our sandwich together. And this one's almost finished too, this glue stick. Okay, so now we have our little paper sandwich. I would cut this down to fit inside my paper trimmer because I am a paper trimmer girl. I can't really cut a straight line to save my life, I always say. And I'm going to use my envelope punch board. All right, now I don't remember the sizes that I made in those envelopes. I think for this video today, I'm going to make a 4x5 envelope. So I'm just going to finish trimming this up a little bit. And then I'm going to cut this with my paper trimmer in the size that I need for that envelope. All right, so for a 4x5 envelope, I need 7.5 by 7.5. First, I'm just going to start by cleaning up the edges. And it is delicate, so I like to put my trimmer in the middle and work from both ends. Okay, that's good enough. So 7.5. I'm just going to clean up this edge just a little bit. It's not really that big of a deal because I am going to ink this, but I don't know. I just feel like trimming a little more off of there. And then 7.5. Okay, so this is our little deli paper sandwich now. So I'm going to go around and check and make sure my glue is in place. This time I'm actually reaching for this. I think this came from the Dollar Tree, but I decided I go through so much glue on these envelopes, and it really doesn't matter because I'm going to be using a sewing machine. Maybe if you don't have a sewing machine and you don't plan on doing a step like that, I would make sure that all of your edges are glued down really well. But yes, it's mostly for working with it here. Since I will be stitching it all together, I just want to make sure that as I'm creating my envelope, I don't ruin any of the paper. That's good for now. And actually, see, this glue stick was not as good as the Elmer's glue. It was a little stiffer, probably dried out more. I probably have had it a long time, so I shouldn't judge it so quickly. It's probably been sitting in my basket for a while, but that's all right. I'm just going to press a little harder, get that glue on there. Okay, so I'm just going to create my envelope here. It is 3 3/8. Now, the envelope punch board doesn't like cutting this deli paper, as you will see. But it kind of tears it out, but I'm going to go back later with my scissors and clean that up. So yeah, I can just, you know, pick that piece out of there. Anyway, I got ahead of myself. I better put that back. 3 3/8. Finish what you're doing. So yeah, you just, you know, use it the regular way and just be gentle with your parchment paper. So I have a basic idea now, and I'm just going to take some scissors and clean up these little grooves. And one more time, I'm going to go around and check out my edges. I guess since this one's sitting here and the Dollar Tree one is being finicky, I'll just use this one. But I'm telling you, my opinion, I'm going to be buying more of the Elmer's glue sticks. I don't use glue sticks a lot, but I was not dissatisfied with them, even compared to this glue stick, so. All right, so parchment paper isn't as easy to work with here as regular paper, so I just try to pay attention to where those score lines were because I have to create those lines myself. So I'm just folding in and folding it, you know, just like you normally would. It's just awkward until you get your basic shape. The other thing I personally like to do, you don't have to do this, is trim off the edge of that. Again, be careful not to rip your parchment. Yeah, I like that. And now I'm going to ink these edges. All right, so I was able to zoom in a little bit now that our parchment paper wasn't so crazy. I have some of my leftover stamped images. So what I did for these, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I tore some linen and I just used a waterproof ink to stamp my stamp. I've shared it before, but this is the Tim Holtz stamp set. Let me grab it. It is the Bird Feather stamp set by him. Great stamp set. I know his stamps tend to be a little pricey, but they are amazing. They really are amazing. All right, so yeah, I'll link that down below. So I know that I want him on the front. So I'm going to just continue with the black ink and edge my edges. So as I'm creating this envelope that I know I'll be using in my journal, it's kind of funny because I made my tags first and I still want to go the grungy route, but I forgot that I was using a dark black ink, which means those tags I made aren't quite as dark and grungy as I thought they were. It's just kind of funny. It's such an unusual style for me to go for. It's not what I gravitate toward naturally, so it's just interesting. Of course, I can still grunge those tags up because I haven't edged them. I haven't finished them up or anything, so it's just kind of funny. It makes me smile. But I am working my way around this envelope. I'm even going to ink the inside edge here. There's our basic envelope. So again, if you don't have a sewing machine, feel free to just glue this down, maybe do some faux stitching, some hand stitching, but I'm going to take this over and run it through my machine. I'm also going to sew this onto my envelope at the same time. So I'm going to take a glue stick again, and I'm just going to place it on the envelope so that it can stay in place while I'm running it through my sewing machine. Okay, and I'll be right back. So I can't really remember what I did on the last set of envelopes, but I just went around the edge of all of my little flaps, and then I'm going to glue it together like normal. I'm using Fabri-Tac. I love Fabri-Tac, like I always say, because it's acetone based instead of water based, and it doesn't bleed through paper. I don't know what it would do with this deli paper necessarily, but I definitely don't want any glue bleeding through, so reaching for the Fabri-Tac. All right, you guys, and that's it. That is the basic envelope. You could decorate this and do all kinds of fun things with it. I will save it at this point and put it in with my other Wings collection items and possibly use it along the way. Maybe I'll do something to it later. We'll see what I come up with. So I hope that you found this helpful and a little inspiring. Again, I will link everything down below, my Etsy shop, in case you're interested in this collection, as well as the design team, like always, that will be working in this collection and sharing some awesome ideas, as well as a Facebook group link for any of you who are interested. I have a Facebook group, and I would love to see projects that you're working on. I would love to hear from you guys and to see you guys over there. A lot of times I like to share future sneak peeks for collections that are up and coming, as well as some pictures of things that I don't have time to share in a video of projects I'm working on and creating as well. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.